Okay, the Sureflap microchip cap flap. Tidy looking unit, works well, and in the vast majority of applications, would be through door applications, gives a very sort of smart looking result. The problem comes when you need to go for a tunnel installation, a through wall installation, for which Sureflap specify the circular mounting adapters at either end of the tunnel. These unfortunately make the whole thing look a little bit more awkward and slightly ugly, really, and so making that visually not such a good installation. This is actually rather odd because many people might, or some people might, choose a through wall application because they think that through the door is a bit prominent and look a bit in the way, rather obvious, or through a window, and they want to install a cat flap that's a little bit more discreet, away from the door and window, a little bit more tucked away, really, and a neater looking result overall, for which of course the mounting adapter goes against all of that. So here we're going to try and show you, we will show you, sorry, how to get around using mounting adapters in the way that we're going to show. The method can be used for both types of Sureflap cat flap, the microchip and the microchip DualScan, because both use the same tunnel arrangement. Here we have a couple of photos comparing the two fixing methods. On the left, Sureflap's methods with a mounting adapter, and on the right, this method without. One of the advantages of not using a mounting adapter is that you won't have this component here, and therefore that will enable you to fix the cat flap that bit closer to the skirting board, which looks tidier and may also help the cat a little bit. Also, without a mounting adapter, the whole unit will sit tighter into the wall and again look that bit neater. Also, with the mounting adapter method, you do have to drill 4 holes in here and put in 4 chrome-headed screws. As with all methods, there are advantages and disadvantages. I've listed them here. A small advantage is that the cost of the required additional parts you need to use this method is actually less than the cost of buying 2 mounting adapters. Also, one of the disadvantages, and I think this is quite important, that you do need to cut the hole through the wall pretty accurately, or not incredibly accurately, but quite accurately. Otherwise, you'll end up having to use a mounting adapter anyway. So that's an important point. Here I'm showing by far the most common method of installing a cat flap. That's through a door. The door is sandwiched between the cat flap and the outer frame. It's sandwiched using the screws provided. These screws will accommodate a thickness up to about 60 mm. Beyond that, under Sureflap's terms, mounting adapters are required. All this method does is create ultra long screws to accommodate a wall of any thickness. So here we have a couple of sketches, cross sections through the wall, showing how the 2 different methods are fixed. On the left, we've got Sureflap's method involving an inner mounting adapter, a couple of screws which screw the inner cat flap to the mounting adapter, and then 4 screws that screw the mounting adapter to the wall. On the outside, we've got just 2 screws holding the whole assembly, the outer frame and the outer mounting adapter. They're screwed with a couple of screws here. On the right is this method. It's exactly the same as the through door method, except that this screw that screws the 2 halves together, the inner and outer portions of the cat flap, is, as long as you like, is much longer than the screws provided. We'll look at that in the next slide. The important details here are the ultra long M4 ties screw made up of several components, the M4 speed fastener in the cap flap on the inside, and obviously the lack of mounting adapters, which makes the whole assembly inside and outside less prominent. Obviously this method involves some different steps, alternative steps to those in Sureflap's installation procedure. I do detail them all here with photographs so that they're hopefully clear. I'm not going to actually talk through all of them, but I am just going to highlight perhaps the one or two steps I think are really important to get right. If you want to look at the steps in detail and at your own speed, probably the best thing to do is to download the online PowerPoint version of this, the OneDrive version, where you can step through. You don't have to have PowerPoint to view it. You can step through all of the steps at your own speed, and you can, if you need to print anything out or screenshot anything, then you can do it at your leisure, and that may be the best way. So good luck. These two lenses must be correctly in position before you screw the two halves of the cap flap back together. These two lock nuts here need to be tight, otherwise they may start to back off when you screw the two assemblies together. Once you've cut the tie screw to length at this point here, obviously you'll have a rough end. Make sure to bevel that properly with a file and check that it does actually screw nice and easily into the speed connector on the cap flap.